Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Lauren from Books and Tea and All Things Me, and I am so excited that you guys are here today. Thank you so much to everyone who commented, subscribed, liked my last video, who gave me encouragement on Instagram. It was just like the most magical thing to just see all these notifications coming in. I was just so excited. So thank you so much. You guys are so motivating me to keep making more videos, and I'm just having so much fun with this. I'm learning a lot too. That's why it's sort of taking me a little bit of time to get some of these videos up. I've had my October TBR filmed for a couple days, and it just, at this point in time, has not gone up yet because I'm just learning to edit. So also, I just filmed this entire video with my glasses on and realized that they're not anti-glare, and it looked really, really terrible. So if I'm like squinting at you, it's because I can't see right now. But anyways, this video is going to be my September 2015 wrap up, and I read 8 books this month, and all of them were really good except for one, so let's get started so I can tell you all about them. So the first book I read this month was The Book Thief by Markus Zusak, and this was by far, my favorite book of the month. This maybe even is my favorite book of my entire life besides Harry Potter. So good, guys, like mind-blowingly good. If you haven't read this, you have to read it. I don't even know what else to say. It's just so good. I was bawling my eyes out at the end. My husband was like sleeping next to me. I think I woke him up. It was like 1 a.m. I couldn't put the book down, and I was just crying in bed. So good. So basically, if you don't know what this book is about, it is a book about a young girl named Liesel who lives in Germany during World War II, and she's a foster child, which sort of adds a whole new dimension because she's like getting to know her parents in the book, her foster parents, and she doesn't have a whole lot. Her family is pretty poor, and so she kind of like finds her escape in reading, and she doesn't really know how to read at the beginning of the book, but learns to as the book progresses. And so like her escape is in these books, and she thieves the books. So it's kind of just a really awesome story about how knowledge is power. Her family, I don't want to give away too much, but there's just a lot of really, really, really good things that happen in this book. It's very sad. It's very touching. It's very like, oh, it's just so good. I can't say enough about it. So 5 out of 5 for sure. Please read this book. The second book I read this month is The Maze Runner by James Dashner, and this is the first book in the series. And I read this book on my Kindle. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good. I was really entertained and like captivated by the story and what was going on and how they got there. The whole time I was reading, I didn't like love it. That's why I didn't give 5 stars. But it was really, really good. I really liked a lot of the characters. I wish that there had been a little bit more girl power. Like, I'm a sucker for girl power in books, so it just was a little bit masculine for me, but that's okay. I can handle that every once in a while. Just give me a strong female character and I'm like in my zone. So anyways, if you guys haven't read this series, I think it's a really good one. I'm really excited to read Scorch Trials. However, I did start watching the Maze Runner movie, and I like really hated it. I fell asleep, so I'm not gonna recommend that, but I do recommend the book. So the third book that I read in the month of September was The Dark Witch by Nora Roberts, and this is another book that I read on my Kindle. I did not like this book. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars, and I might even like push that down to 1 star the more I think about it, because it's just not sitting well with me. And I don't know why I really chose to start reading this book in the first place. I think it was on like the top books list for my library's ebook website, and so I put it on hold kind of before I really started accumulating a lot of books I wanted to read from watching booktube videos, but like I had to wait quite a while for it, and then it became available, so I read it. I just really didn't like it. It's set in Ireland, and it's about magic. The main character discovers that she's a witch in the book, and basically she moves to Ireland and she meets up with her 2 cousins who are also witches, and they're all descendants of this dark witch. And when the 3 of them are united, they can conquer like the demon in the book. And there's also like this really awful romance that develops throughout it. I don't know, I did not enjoy it. I don't think I'm going to be continuing on with this series. The only thing that would maybe draw me is just like seeing how they conquer the demon guy, but it's probably not going to happen. There's a lot of other books I would rather read instead. The fourth book that I read in the month of September was Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder, and actually the 8th book I read is Magic Study, which is the second book in the series. And I loved these books, guys. They're so good. 5 out of 5. I really love them both. I don't have a lot of complaints. They were almost perfect. The first book probably was perfect. I loved these. And if I'm not getting excited enough, I'm sorry. They're just so good though. So there you go. There's your excitement. Anyways, this book is about a main character. Her name is Yelena, and she's a young woman, and she is imprisoned for killing a man who captured her when she was a young child and claimed to have like adopted her into this orphanage, but really there was another agenda, and she was like tortured, and a lot of other really bad things happened to her when she was in their care. And so to get revenge and basically to save herself, she kills this guy and ends up in prison. And on the day that she's supposed to be executed, she's given the choice to either be executed or to become the food taster for the commander. And basically this just involves tasting the food for poisons, and the book is sort of like, the beginning is about her learning how to like determine if there's poison in something, just learning about all the different poisons, and they poison her so that they can see how she handles it. It's really intense. The other main character in this book, his name is Valak, and he is the commander's right-hand assistant type of a thing. Like he's his main backup. And I don't think I'm really giving away anything in saying that Yelena and Valak fall in love in this book, and it's just a really good romance. I feel like I'm gonna repeat a lot of what Grace from Grace with a Book in Her Face said, but it's like this really slow burning relationship. And one other thing that she said that I really agree with is that Yelena is an awesome main character. She isn't just awesome like from the start. She develops herself into this really kick-ass person, and she trains and she learns all these warrior moves, learns how to like experiment with her magic because she discovers that she has magical abilities. And anyways, that's enough about the first one. The second book is about her studying her magic and learning how to further develop those magical abilities. And there's a lot of really intense things that happen in the second book. She meets her family, like her birth family, which is really awesome. I really enjoy like her parents. They're both really good characters, and she gets herself in a lot of trouble. The one gripe that I do have with this book is that she seems to get herself out of trouble in a very repetitive way by using her magic, and I felt like it maybe happened like one too many times. Like maybe we could have just skipped one of her, I don't know, situations where she gets captured. I don't know. I didn't not enjoy it. Obviously, I gave this a 5 out of 5. It's so good, but that would be the one little thing that I would change. So there you go. The fifth book that I read in the month of September was Hollow City by Ransom Riggs, and this is the second book in the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series. I love this series. These books are so good. I did give this one a 4 out of 5 stars because I had a hard time. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I had it on my Kindle for forever, and it was just not the book that I was choosing to read all the time. Like, I would read other books instead of choosing that one. But by the time I finished it, like, I really enjoyed it. It's very good. I love this series. I love the Peculiar Children and the different like abilities and weird things that they have about them. They all have really good personalities that are all very different, and this I don't want to really like give away the storyline, but they basically are going on this huge quest and being chased by these monsters called Hollows in order to basically save the peculiar race. So it's really action-packed. It's really good. I love the main character in this book too. I think he's a really good just like genuine character. He's just really good. I really enjoy it. And I love the photograph part of these books. If you've never read these before, there's these really awesome, like really creepy black and white photos that go along with the story, and they're all like real photos that Ransom Riggs found and used to like incorporate into his story, or even to change the storyline. If he found a picture that he really liked, like he would put that into the book. So it's just really, really cool. I love how the story is weaved and how it all comes together. I'm really excited to read Library of Souls. I'm hoping to get to that one in the month of November, so I'm looking forward to that. So the 6th book I read in September was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and this is the first book in the Raven Cycle series. This series is super good. I am reading The Dream Thieves right now, and I'm just loving it. I kind of had a little bit of a hard time getting into the story at the beginning, so I did give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. However, it is so unique. Like, it's not like anything I've ever read before, and I really love that. It's very, very confusing to explain. I was trying to explain it to a friend the other day, and I was like, I feel like a crazy person because I don't even know how to say this. But basically, the story revolves around this main character. Her name is Blue, and she grew up in a family of psychics but has no psychic abilities herself. However, she like enhances other people's abilities, so she allows her family to see their psychic things more clearly when she's around, and like energy is stronger when she's around, so that's kind of cool. And then she meets this group of 4 boys called the Raven Boys. They go to this prep school that is very rich and affluent, and they're all very different. Like, one's a tough guy, like one's really intelligent, one is really strong-willed and like poor but determined to make it on his own, and one I can't tell you about because I'm gonna give something away, but they're all really, really, really good. Very good character building. I love how Maggie Stiefvater wrote these books. It's a very poetic way of writing. I will say I had to reread things quite a bit, because when writing is really poetic, like I want to get everything that it's saying, so I will like go back and reread what I read to make sure that I have a complete understanding of it. So it did take me quite a while to finish this book, but it's really, really good, and I am loving the 2nd book so far. So look forward to that in my wrap up for October. The 7th book I read in the month of September was The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, and this is the 1st book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. I'm really loving these books, like really loving these. I was a little bit older when these came out, so I know this is sort of like a middle grade series. The main character is 12 years old. So I didn't read these growing up, but this is my brother's favorite series. I know I said that in my October TBR because I'm reading the 2nd book right now, but I am like really loving it. It's not as childish as I thought it was gonna be, so I'm really very impressed. It's very funny, like very action-packed storyline. I'm really loving all the characters. I did read someone's review about these books that did say the 3 main characters were sort of like Harry, Hermione, and Ron, and that sort of bothered me after I realized that, but otherwise I really liked the main characters in this book. I love the mythology. I think it's all like really super interesting, and it's, like I said, it's super action-packed. There's a different monster in like every chapter, so this was a really quick read for me. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sorry about the beat up copy. Like, this is my 16-year-old brother's book, so you can imagine he just doesn't take as good of care of his books as I do, but anyways. And then the 8th book that I read in September, like I said, was Magic Study by Maria V. Snyder. I already talked about that one. Super good. I'm really excited to continue with that series. I am hoping to read Fire Study maybe in October. It's not on my TBR, but if I get through the other 10 books, maybe I'll read it. So anyways, I did want to share with you what kind of tea I'm drinking today. Hello! And I am drinking ginger peach tea from the Republic of Teas. This is probably like my favorite tea. I love anything that is fruit and spice together. So delicious. I discovered this tea at Panera Bread because they sell it there as one of the teas that you can drink while you're eating your soup or whatever, and it's just really, really good. I got it from World Market. I love this, so definitely recommend trying that out. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel again. I'm so happy to have all of you here. Seriously, this has been such an awesome experience so far. Thank you so much for everyone who's been encouraging me. I think I might have said that already, but anyways, I hope that you will comment on this video and subscribe and like if you haven't already done so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I can say. All right, I will see you in my next video. Bye.